Do you have any Bob Dylan vinyl record albums laying around? If so, the value of his early records are skyrocketing. And on today's video, we'll take a look at some of the most valuable early Bob Dylan albums many of his fans might have laying around at home right now. The album that launched one of the most iconic music careers of all time was Bob Dylan's self-titled first album released in 1962. The most valuable albums from Dylan's debut record are stereo copies still in the original shrink wrap. Obviously, these are extremely rare and don't come up for sale very often, but when they do, they can sell for $4,000 or more. Barely used copies, usually with parts of the original shrink wrap still attached, can sell for about $2,000. To give you an idea how much Bob Dylan's first album has gone up over the past few years, here's an auction for two sealed albums, one in stereo and one in mono, that sold for just $262 back in 2020. Now an auction like this would sell for thousands of dollars. Next up for Dylan's debut album are the demonstration records that are stamped on the album's cover and the vinyl disc as well. These are sent to radio stations and are hard to find. In near mint condition, these albums can sell for over $1,700. Next thing to look for in Bob Dylan's premiere album is if the disc has 6 eyes or 2 eyes on the labels. The eyes refer to the Columbia record logo that appears on each side of the disc label. Some versions have 2, and more rare copies have 6. The more common 2-eye versions are still valuable, often selling between $40 and $60 depending on condition. Well-listened or less mint copies can sell for about $20 to $30. The more rare 6-eye version in excellent condition or better can sell for over $1,000. The album that made Bob Dylan famous worldwide was actually his second LP released in 1963, titled The Freewheelin Bob Dylan. What makes some versions of this record more valuable than others is if the album is in stereo or mono, and more importantly, if it's a rare first pressing which contains songs not released on subsequent pressings. Likely one of the most collectible records in the world are the Freewheelin LPs that have 4 tracks that were later deleted by Columbia Records. A handful of these very first press albums were distributed, and it's believed most didn't even make it past the west coast of the United States. The 4 deleted tracks were Rocks and Gravel, Let Me Die in My Footsteps on side 1, Gamblin' Willie's Dead Man Hand, and Talkin' John Birch Blues appear on side number 2. There are several ways to identify if you have one of these extraordinarily rare discs with the deleted tracks. The easiest way is by looking at the matrix numbers that appear on the discs themselves. On the rare deleted track LPs, in stereo and mono, there'll be a series of letters and numbers. The key thing to look for is the last 2 digits and letters will have a 1 and an A. If you have a 1 and an A, you've hit the jackpot. Less rare versions will have a 2A in the last string of the numbers. In terms of value, the stereo LPs with the 4 deleted tracks are so rare, it's believed just 3 have surfaced. One sold in July of 2022 for $150,000. That's one of the highest prices ever paid for a vinyl album. Mono versions with the 4 deleted tracks are believed to only exist in the hundreds of copies. Mint condition versions will sell for over $30,000, with lesser condition versions selling closer to $10,000. Demonstration or DJ versions are extremely rare, with the 4 deleted tracks on the timing strip that is printed on the front of the album. One in very good to excellent condition sold for $5,500 in March of 2022. Stereo versions of the Freewheelin LP tend to be more collectible and rare, with versions containing what are known as hype stickers selling for a premium. Stereo versions with a sticker that says singing his sensational hit Blowing in the Wind can sell for about $1,000. Common versions of the album are still valuable, often fetching anywhere between $30 and $100, depending on the condition. Bob Dylan's third studio album, released in 1964, is titled after the hit track, The Times They Are A-Changin. Original LPs from the era can sell anywhere between $30 and $100 depending on the condition. The more desirable versions of this LP are the mono versions with the DJ timing strips on the front. These albums have white labels and can often sell for about $1,500 or more. Versions still sealed in the original shrink wrap can sell for $650 or more. Many people feel vinyl records' popularity is only just starting to come back in style. If that's the case, Bob Dylan's early records are likely only to continue to go up in value. There's a link in the description below if you want to check out our Bob Dylan vinyl record album price guide. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully, you guys have a great day out there, and good luck with your collections.